if a party disowns this array of its members, there's something wrong. And in May 29, I think, they invited me to give a keynote at the Labour Party, Abure. He was there. I had a meeting with him privately before I spoke. And I told them that the Labour Party is useful because Nigerians consider it useful. The Labour Party is not useful because of Abure or my friend there who is the TUC leader. It's useful because Nigerians find it useful. So it's pathetic that, and it's common among these small parties. Let me put it this way. I tell people that unfortunately, ironically, the bigger parties who we see as dysfunctional are better managed by than the smaller ones. So if you have a crisis in PDP or APC, you would see the leadership of that party think broadly around win-win. The pie is expanded. So you could have we've seen APC have their chairman step aside several times. We saw Adam Oshomola, we saw this, we saw even the national former governor volunteered when he saw that the pressure of stakeholders. And here is a party that tell you who is stakeholder. So the only people who own this party and who the party matters for is my good friend Abure and the rest of that people. That does not speak to a sense of mission or purpose. So it's ironic that the parties that are supposed to be opposition, that are supposed to be different, are actually worse. Now, come to the point. Governor Otti is a NEC member as he concedes. And the issue here is very simple. Abure, in as much as they are struggling to keep this power, have no personal capabilities and moral prestige to now inside themselves. The issue with INEC, the Congress in Navy, for example, and I spoke with him about that. I mean, a party the moral burden is that you can't just gather yourself together and anoint yourself as leaders for the next 4 years. And I have this personal conversation with Abure because I'm pro-Labour, I'm pro-comrades, I'm pro-everybody. They come to me and I say, look, you just have to admit that you just can't be the chairman with court orders, with several issues, with even some purported true or false expulsion from your zone. At a point, you begin to think more strategic and say, look, this can't fly. We saw this party again before even Peter Obi came in. He had over 20 lawsuits. Labour has been like that. When Mimiko was there, Mimiko was the leader. At a point, he has to leave. Dan Wanyango has to form his own franchise. The problem really is that these small parties seem to have small minds. The leadership seem to be persons who dig in, because basically they can't see a bigger horizon. They can't see that these parties could be vehicle for transformation. And they confuse themselves that the electoral fortune that Peter Obi largely, it would be dumb for anybody to think that Labour Party, SDP was far ahead of Labour Party, even Zenith Labour Party was. Peter Obi and those who came with him and the obedience and all the people who felt there was need for change gave this party oxygen. And so if the other people want to keep a franchise and can't see the bigger picture of this stakeholder, look, let's even don't look at the constitution for the first time. If you're going to see the array of all your governors, the Lagos State candidates, the Plateau, all these people, and they're here, the National Assembly members of your party, right, and you dispense all this.
Now, with this National Caretaker Committee that's been set up by Alex Otti, Peter Obi, and the rest of them, do you think that the Labour Party stands a chance to get back on its feet? Or, with this contention continuing, could it just be the beginning of the end for the Labour Party? And what would that mean going forward for the whole vision of Peter Obi and the rest?
I think that my friend Abure and others will keep on fighting this battle. But again, Nenadi Usman, experienced, intelligent, smart person with that team, with all the stakeholders, they can go and build a party, which means ideological clarity. This is a government that is struggling. The opposition party should be coherent in ideas. Now, since this last 1 year, what has the Labour Party really done? So this is an opportunity for Labour Party to do something. I was touted to be the chairman of the Labour Party Electoral Commission by Abure, and I told him flat on that the party has no credibility to mount a national mission right now. So the first point is to recreate the Labour Party, create an alternative platform. And so I think Nenadi shouldn't focus too much on preparing themselves for 2027. There's a temptation to now say, okay, Imo, you go and look for PDP dropout or APC dropout, fix it there, Lagos. That's not what the party should be. This opportunity now to create a real alternative platform in terms of coherence, vision, organization, structure, even constitution, so that party membership and process of election and association is clear. I mean, look at the Labour Party. You don't even have a Congress. And I was telling him, you have leaders emerge, no Congress, even their constitution has no provision on how a Congress will be conducted. So I think that this is now time to be the party, if they really want the Labour Party to be a vehicle for transformation. And Nenadi Usman is at the point, experience, but beyond experience, they have to get out this PDP, APC mentality of just say, okay, we get this party, we struggle for the next election, we put our person. That's not the point now. The point now is to harness and harvest and institutionalize this goodwill and bring a party. Nigerians are crying for alternative. Our Labour Party has been a disgrace so far.
Ever since that happened, many people have jumped on that narrative to push it. That Peter Obi is a weak leader, Peter Obi is weak, he cannot be president of Nigeria, Nigeria needs a tough leader, Nigeria needs a tough leader. And so I say, is Peter Obi really weak? And I'll say it again, honest answers only. Is it weakness for a leader to see billions of naira and decide not to steal it and decide to leave it behind? Is that weakness? Is it weakness to refuse the nudging, the request of your State House of Assembly members to spend public funds lavishly, but then you refuse? Is that weakness? Is it weakness to refuse to bloat government contracts and reduce everything, reduce cost of governance? Is it weakness? Since when is it weakness that you allow rule of law? You don't force your opinion on others. How is this weakness? Because these are all the things that people point to and they say Peter Obi is weak. Is it weakness to say, oh, I will not call for violent protest? I will not let innocent lives be lost because of my ambition? He has said he's not desperate to be president of Nigeria, but he's desperate to see a Nigeria that works. Is it weakness? Because from what Kenneth Okonkwo has said and what people are now hiding and queuing behind to push this narrative that Peter Obi is a weak leader, is that Peter Obi did not defend or declare himself president after the rigging that went on in the 2023 presidential election. So, is it weakness? We need to be careful so we don't give a dog a bad name just because we want to hang it. We need to be careful about our actions because we don't want a situation whereby all the good people that have intentions to fix Nigeria, that have patriotic mind, that have the passion, that have the credibility, we need to be careful not to call a dog a bad name because we want to hang it. And then in the end, we're chasing good people away from the arena of leadership in Nigeria.